What's up, everybody? It's Matt here from Matt's Great World, and I'm back today with another video. And today, I'm finally gonna be reviewing the latest officially released Dragon Prince graphic novel, Puzzle House. I've been so excited to make this video, so I'm not gonna waste any more time and get straight into it. By now, you know how all of this works. I'm gonna go over the things that I liked and disliked. And at the end, I'm going to give you a rating out of 10. So let's get started right away with the positives. So to start off with, the first thing that I really loved was the way that Claudia was presented in Puzzle House. And while we all know what she ends up becoming later on in her life, getting to see her as an innocent, curious, and very good kid, was a nice change of pace. Also, she was just incredibly empathetic and emotional at times too, which added a whole lot of depth to her character overall, and just was so good. It was such a nice change, and it was cool to get to see the other side of Claudia that we don't really get to see much of in the actual show itself. However, Claudia wasn't really the only one in this book that was written well, though. Soren was absolutely hilarious, steadfast the whole time. Seems he really wasn't all that different as a kid than the way we see, apart from what we see of him in the show. He pretty much the same character, pretty much the same person, just in a smaller body. It's just so cool to see that. And he's also the voice of reason throughout the whole story, similar to what we see in the show. And he tries to convince Claudia that they're just on this giant wild goose chase throughout the puzzle house. And of course, Claudia doesn't really listen. She just kind of goes with it. And Soren's just like, I guess I gotta go along with you to make sure you don't get killed. So, yeah, he definitely has got Big Brother vibes, that's for sure. But another thing that really stood out to me was just how good and how detailed all of the illustrations were in this graphic novel. Puzzle House was illustrated by Felix Hanakata. That's not right. Hang on, I've got it right here. There we go. So, Philia Hanakata, I think is how you say it. I apologize if I'm butchering that. But she was also the illustrator of Blood Moon Huntress as well, and she didn't disappoint with the illustrations in that either. So it's really not a big surprise to me that the illustrations were so good and so detailed. But it was really something that I wanted to point out and highlight because it was absolutely fantastic. So now that we've talked about the positives, let's take a look at the negatives, which there really weren't that many. There were only a couple of things that I really wish there was more of in this book, but they're more nitpicks really, so not so much as negatives, but I still wish that they would have been in here, so I'm going to talk about them. For those of you who don't know, the novel takes place not long after Claudia's and Soren's mother left Catullus and left the family to go back to Del Bar, where she was originally from. Claudia brought all of this up in season 2 of the show, and she kind of opened up about it a little bit and said that it was the hardest thing that she had ever been through in her life, which is incredibly impactful. And I know how hard it can be when, your parents are divorcing and stuff like that. And that's kind of been what's going on for me in my life recently. But that aside, we didn't really get to see her kind of grapple with that a whole lot up until the very end, when she kind of let everything overflow and kind of come out. it didn't really seem as though she was trying to deal with that stuff. She was more concerned with what was in the house and this supposed gift that was left behind by her father's former mentor, which is the whole reason why they go to the puzzle house in the first place. But yeah, I just wish we got to see a little bit more of her kind of grappling with her mother leaving in this graphic novel. But again, that's more of a nitpick. And in that same general vein, there wasn't really a whole lot of emotion and kind of serious stuff. It felt more kind of playful and just kind of comedic for the most part. Right up at the closer to the end, there were some more serious, kind of grounded, very real moments. Well, like I said, the comedy was really, really good, and the jokes that Soren makes throughout the course of the story are hilarious, and just the banter that he and Claudia have throughout the adventure is awesome, and I loved it. There wasn't a whole lot of serious moments that kind of counteracted the comedy and kind of didn't really have any real impact or weight in the story. But I don't think that really subtracts a whole lot from the book all that much. But I think it would have really elevated it to a completely different level if you had incorporated a few more serious and very heavy, well, not very heavy, but kind of somewhat heavy moments were put into the book as well. But that's just a nitpick of mine. So overall, Puzzle House is a very, very solid graphic novel. It's got a very good, very strong, and interesting story. But out of the 3 graphic novels that we've gotten so far, Through the Moon, Blood Moon Huntress, and of course this one, I'd have to say it's the weakest out of all 3. But that doesn't mean it's bad by any means whatsoever. I think that it was good, but it was just a little left of being incredibly awesome and, just on a different level. But that's just for me personally. If I had to give this a rating, I think I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. There are a lot of elements that are there, a lot of the right elements specifically, but it just missed the mark for me on a couple of things. But again, they were mostly just nitpicks. I mean, with a graphic novel, it's not like you can just put as much as you want in there. You kind of want to condense it to kind of be a little shorter. And I can understand that. There's only so much you can really put in there. It's not like when you're writing a full-fledged novel where you can put like 40, 50 chapters in and above even, or even lower, So I can understand it, but at the same time, I do wish that there were a couple of other things that were added in this graphic novel. But again, that's just a me thing. And that is a wrap on Puzzle House and also this video. There really wasn't a whole lot to talk about in this one, but I was really excited to read this graphic novel, and I'm very glad that I finally got the chance to do it. Finally got the chance to make this video, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the graphic novel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope I didn't spoil it too much. But if you haven't read it and you kind of got the whole thing spoiled or feel a little spoiled, whatever the case may be, super sorry for that. But before I head out and potentially spoiling anything more, I just want to remind you all to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment what you thought of Puzzle House down in the comments below if you've read it. And leave a like button, hit the like button so that this video can get pushed out to new Dragon Prince fans and we can grow the fandom and start building up the hype for Season 6. It's coming soon. I've got a whole video talking about the a lot of the stuff that's going on the Dragon Princess official Twitter page in particular, that I'm starting to get ready to write the script for. I've been looking at some stuff. It's going to be great. Well, that's all for me for right now. Kung Fu Panda 4 review is going to be up later tonight. So, yeah, I'll see you all then. But for right now, as always, stay safe, stay warm, stay happy. It's never goodbye. It's just till next time. I'll see you all in a little bit. Peace out.